Monza circuit, just northeast of Milan, is a cauldron of Ferrari red for the last European race of the season. Hello there, good evening, welcome to the highlights of this afternoon's Italian Grand Prix. Mika Hakkinen has extended his lead at the top of the championship after that win in Belgium, but in the build-up to the race, the Finn just couldn't match the speed of Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello, the boys in red, determined to strike back on home ground. Here's how they line up then. Schumacher on pole, followed by Barrichello, Hakkinen, Villeneuve. He's fourth ahead of Coulthard. Not a good day, though, for the other Brits. Button starting 12th, Irvine 14th. Herbert, he's down in 18th place. It's the Italian Grand Prix, then, with your commentators Martin Brundle and Murray Walker.
Go! Good one, Schumacher. Schumacher's leading up to the chicane. Mika Hakkinen is already ahead of Barrichello. Now, this is the crunch point. Are they all going to get through here? Schumacher leads. Hakkinen is in second place. Villeneuve. David Coulthard has come up into third place. And Rubens Barrichello is already down to fifth. And there's one of the Jaguars running wide, has obliterated the polystyrene blocks, rejoins last. And Michael Schumacher is exactly where he wants to be and needs to be. And it's Eddie Irvine in the Jaguar who is the first retirement. And wow, that's the two Jordans and a that's Trulli and Frentzen.
And there's many cars piling in at the back. Terrible accident there. And of course the red flag will have to come out. I can't see that they can handle that one under the safety car. There look to be far too many cars involved in that. Two Jordans appeared to get together and then come into the back of the third and fourth place runners. Safety car is deployed. I'll be amazed.
And it's David Coulthard out there, so yeah, that's the end of his race.
Yeah, but Coulthard, if they don't stop, but the arrows flew over the top of Coulthard's car. There's an arrows behind that green truck, upside down, and then Barrichello's car also in there too. And Johnny Herbert is cruising back to the pits, minus the back of his car. One wheel missing on Herbert's car. And look, they were all very well behaved in the first corner, because actually Barrichello's bad start, and it was at the back end that there was carnage, with Eddie Irvine just failing, and a lot of cars scampering there, look, across the grass. Now, that arrows is way down the field. Now, here we go, look. It's Barrichello squeezes the two Jordans together, who then run into Coulthard. Now watch closely. In the dust you will see an arrows who was way down the field end up flashing through the air. It's amazing it hasn't hit Coulthard. Look, there it goes. It's absolutely amazing it hasn't hit Coulthard on the head.
Well, the safety car led the field round for 10 laps while the marshals cleared away the debris from that huge shunt. Here's Martin and Murray with the restart.
Lap 11 out of 53. And Michael Schumacher will be looking to sprint away from Mika Hakkinen. Mika Hakkinen will be watching the Ferrari ahead very closely indeed to try to get to grips with it and get through and take the lead. Jacques Villeneuve doing exactly the same thing in third position, and Ralf Schumacher in the Williams BMW. There he is, coming into the Ascari curves of fourth position.
So if you've just joined us, if you're waiting for this restart, to remind you, some incidents in the first corner at the tail end of the field, and then a massive incident nearer the front when Frentzen got into the back of teammate Trulli in the Jordan, and Barrichello taking Coulthard with them, and a third accident where Della Rosa went clean through the back of Johnny Herbert's Jaguar and barrel rolled. And look, there's Jenson Button. Jenson Button was warming his tyres up, and then not realising that the concertina had happened in front of him. He's got to let Fisichella back through. Good thinking there, Jenson, but he did whack the barrier.
Yeah, and Michael Schumacher, I think, was going slow and holding him up, and the race has now restarted up to the chicane on the rolling lap. Lap 12 out of 53, and Schumacher leads. Hakkinen. Villeneuve is in third place. Ralf Schumacher is still in fourth position, and out of the race goes Jenson Button as a result of that coming together when he was trying to warm up his tyres and got involved with a minor collision there. Not minor as far as he was concerned, because he is out of the Italian Grand Prix. Let's have a look at it and see what happened. There you see, he goes straight off into the Armco. Now, I think if there was fault I suspect that you could put it at Michael Schumacher's door, because he was slowing right down, as a result of which the field bunched up unexpectedly as far as Button was concerned. Remember, he's very new to this Grand Prix racing stuff. It's only his 14th race, and Schumacher is still leading. Now, no signs of change at the present moment. Ferrari, McLaren, BAR, and then behind Ralf Schumacher in 5th position, it's Fisichella, and his teammate Alexander Wurz is up there, notwithstanding the fact that he's had a terrible time in qualifying and the practice sessions. Let's hope his luck changes in this race. Down to the Parabolica, they're approaching it at 210 miles an hour.
Yes, I was about to say, and that green crane that just came across the front there, I would imagine is for Button's car to clear it out of the way. I was about to say, the whole of the British hopes remain now on Jenson Button's shoulders this afternoon, because Herbert, Irvine and Coulthard out of the race, and Jenson got caught out there. He was just putting on a sprint at the same time that Michael Schumacher was backing the pack up. Schumacher was always going to do that. He had to do that to make himself some space to scamper. Jenson a little bit unlucky, but one of those lessons you learn the painfully hard way.
Well, let's look at the points positions. 1 Ferrari, and there it is, Michael Schumacher. Rubens Barrichello out of the race. 1 McLaren, Mika Häkkinen 2nd place. David Coulthard out of the race. Villeneuve is in the race in 3rd position, and his teammate Ricardo Zonta is down in 10th position. 4th is Ralf Schumacher. The other Williams BMW Button is out of it. Both the Benettons are still running. Fisichella is 5th, Wurz is 7th, and Jos Verstappen in the Arrows goes up into the points as a result of Button going out.
Of course, the safety car scenario, Murray, will have helped them a lot. And is that
BAR out now? Is it? It's on Villeneuve. So up into 3rd place goes Ralf Schumacher. To 4th position goes Verstappen. To 5th goes Fisichella. And to 6th position goes Zonta. Both the BARs are in the points.
Engine failure.
There he is out. So that's the lead of the 2 BARs out of the points, and Alexander Wurz benefits from this. But what you're looking at now confirms that there are 2 people in the World Championship. Michael Schumacher, who is currently 4 points ahead of Häkkinen if he finishes in the order that he's in now, but there's a long way to go. Lap 19, and you are looking at a terrific scrap for 3rd place between Jos Verstappen in the orange Arrows and Ricardo Zonta from Brazil in the white BAR. Zonta having an absolute storm of a race. He started well down on the grid, and he's climbed his way up from 17th up into the 4th position that he's in now. Now, a lot of it, I admit, is due to the fact that there have been a large number of retirements due to the collision, but he was fastest in the warm-up this morning, and that car is really flying.
Yes, the problem he's got now, I'd say again, Verstappen and Zonta, easily the 2 fastest cars through every speed trap on the track, and he cannot just whistle cleanly past that Arrows. I think Zonta has the fastest car. I wouldn't be at all surprised to find that these 2 drivers stop earlier than the others, but Zonta there not able to just whistle past Verstappen like he did, for example, Ralf Schumacher, both Benettons, but now he's a little bit closer coming out of the Parabolica, and will he pick up enough of a tow? Look, he just cannot quite edge up. It's going to be a big brave move at the end, and he really is not near enough this time around. Louise.
Yeah, I'm here with Jacques Villeneuve. Jacques, cheers in the garage at the success that your teammate's having at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing good, and that's great for the team.
Not such a good day for you, though.
No, the car was easy to drive. It was easy to be quick. We were on a one-stop strategy, and suddenly the car stopped.
And look, Zonta really has got in the slipstream this time, and I believe he's stronger on the brakes at the end too. So Zonta should easily take this place, and does indeed move into 3rd, but then moves in too far. He's gone a little bit wide on the way in, and they do somehow not touch on the way out. Very skillful driving there from Zonta and Verstappen, and now Zonta, I believe, will pull away from that Arrows.
Fine bit of driving by both the Brazilian and the Dutchman, and remember what I said, Jos Verstappen is not going to give up. He's been caught and he's been passed, yes, but he's going to try and fight back. And there's a strong battle behind them between Ralf Schumacher and Giancarlo Fisichella in respectively the Williams and the Benetton for 5th position, and it's just as close as this battle between Zonta and Verstappen Deniz, and now that is widening. The gap between the BAR and the Arrows is getting bigger and bigger. There is Ralf Schumacher, 5th position. Behind him, Fisichella in 6th position. Wurz in the second blue car is therefore in 7th place ahead of Marc Genet, who has got Mika Salo right with him.
Yeah, the tail enders, the ones we always do the sob stories about, the teams at the back who try hard but can't get results because they don't have enough money. They love days like this. This is their chance to score some points. The reality is, if nothing special happens, 2 Ferraris and 2 McLarens take the first 4 lots of points. That leaves a 5th and a 6th available for the entire rest of the pack. And with Williams and Jordan and Benetton being such strong cars, the tail enders very rarely get a sniff of a World Championship point, and today's the day.
And remember that the man you're looking at, Michael Schumacher, is 6 points behind Mika Häkkinen, second in this race in the World Championship. If Michael Schumacher finishes ahead of Mika Häkkinen by being first to Häkkinen's second, he will have closed the gap quite dramatically. Lap 24, race order. Schumacher now leads Häkkinen by 6 seconds. Zonta is third, nearly 13 seconds behind Häkkinen, coming into the pits now. As you look at him, that means Jos Verstappen goes back into 3rd place. Ralf Schumacher will move up into 4th. Fisichella to 5th, and maybe even Wurz into 6th position. Good stop by Ricardo Zonta, and there is Alexander Wurz, and he is ahead of Mika Salo in the Sauber. Remember, Mika Salo's come in, he's made a long pit stop, but he is still on the same lap. Only 11 of the 22 who started are on the same lap. There's 12 runners. Pedro Diniz is 11th on the same lap as Michael Schumacher. Jean Alesi is running in 12th position, but he's already a lap behind the leaders.
Blue flags are out already for Mazzacani to tell him the lead Ferrari is bearing down on him.
Yeah, I suspect the Italian marshals will not be at all slow to show blue flags to anybody that's in the way of Michael Schumacher and Ferrari.
It's done on computer mostly, the information to them. There's a line every 200 metres, a centre every 200 metres of this racetrack, and the computer works out the relative positions of all of the cars, and then a little blue dot comes up on a screen, and then the information is given out to the marshals by radio. And look, Mazzacani is not making it at all easy for Michael Schumacher, and they both lost time. That was pathetic driving there.
As inside the Minardi goes Schumacher, there is Häkkinen, who has already now lapped, as of course has Michael Schumacher. Mazzacani, we're on lap 35, just coming through to lap 36, and my goodness, they are staying out late.
And that's Zonta in for actually the 3rd time this afternoon. In the murky depths of my mind, I remember seeing a BAR with a punctured front right. I think he pitted under the safety car earlier, and we know he's pitted once for fuel already. So he did a short middle stint. Now he refuels to the end of the race.
And Jos Verstappen goes back into the points. You probably saw the arrows. Oh, very short stop. Very short indeed for Ricardo Zonta. And Verstappen is back into the points in 6th position. 5th is Wurz, 4th is Fisichella. Both the Benettons in the points. Ralf Schumacher in the Williams BMW is 3rd, but has yet to stop. Mika Häkkinen 2nd, yet to stop. Michael Schumacher that you're looking at now, leading by nearly 10 seconds and pulling away from Mika Häkkinen, but yet to stop. There's the Ferrari team. They're getting ready to bring Michael Schumacher in on the 39th lap out of the Parabolica. Down to you, good and early, James Allen.
Yes, it's all looking very tidy indeed for the Ferrari team here. There's no tension at all. They're all pretty relaxed. I think they're going to go about this in not a leisurely way, but they're going to not make any mistakes and getting back out again. 10.5 seconds is a good margin here. Häkkinen, of course, will take the lead, but we expect Häkkinen in shortly.
Well, Mika Häkkinen has gone through, and there is Michael Schumacher exiting the pit lane. Where is he in relation to Ralf Schumacher? And there is the new race leader on lap 40 out of 53. It's the Flying Finn at the front of the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. He has never won this race, and out go the McLaren mechanics to get Mika Häkkinen in for his stop as the Finn exits the Ascari curves, goes at 210 miles an hour down towards the Parabolica. Slows down to 110, accelerates away. He will dive into the pit lane now, and this stop is crucial. James Allen.
Yes, this is going to be very interesting. Schumacher's stop took 21 seconds total lost time. That's how much time he lost when he came in. Here comes Häkkinen. He will be around just 5 or 6 seconds down on Michael Schumacher. If he can get out of here, stationary time of less than about 7 seconds. It's very fast by McLaren. A lovely stop. He'll be about 5 or 6 seconds only down, Murray.
Now let's have a look. There is Schumacher. There is Schumacher, and in the background you see Häkkinen exiting the pit lane as Schumacher dives past the Prost and puts it between himself and the second place man now, Mika Häkkinen. So it's down to the last few laps. They're on lap 43. It's a 53-lap race. They've both completed their single pit stop for fuel and tyres, and it's down to the two top drivers of the day. Double world champion Michael Schumacher, 1994 and 1995. Double world champion Mika Häkkinen, 98 and 99, trying to become one of the very few people who have achieved 3 successive world championships. Alexander Wurz into the pits from 5th position. Nice stop. It didn't take on very much fuel, so he's out in just 6.1 seconds stationary period on the tarmac. So Schumacher, now he's coming up to Marc Genet to lap him again. Marc Genet, the Spaniard in the Minardi. Now look back and you should see Mika Häkkinen. Yes, there he is, exiting the Ascari bends again behind Mazzacane. And again Mazzacane, as he delayed Michael Schumacher, is delaying Mika Häkkinen, who gets through on the inside.
Yeah, well, pathetic having to use the same word of the same driver twice in the afternoon. I mean, what is he up to? It's not difficult to see here. Long enough straights. Not like there's any blind corners and a lot of hedges in the way, is it? But Häkkinen there, he was already further behind Michael Schumacher than I expected to see him coming on that straight down towards the Parabolica, but that certainly fixed it, and I don't see any pace that Häkkinen is going to have to close that gap as Ralf Schumacher comes in. Really, he's not the last of the front runners because Fisichella's just behind him too. 4th place man Fisichella in the pits too. 3rd place man at the moment. There's Fisichella just squeezing in front. A good stop there for the Williams team again in the 6s, and that puts Ralf in good shape. Can Zonta and Verstappen do anything about it? And is that Benetton running? I don't think so.
Well, already Ralf Schumacher driving for Williams BMW in a season that they both expected to be a pretty poor one because it's BMW's first year back in Formula One since 1953. Fisichella spinning his wheels. This is ruining his chances.
Yes, what they'll have to do is start it up in gear and drop it off the jack if they can, but it's not that easy because the jack will go down the pit lane with the car if they're not careful. That is very, very difficult problem to sort out. It's stuck in gear. He clearly cannot find neutral. They need to start it up. Look, they're turning the tyres with the starter motor. It's going through the system and they cannot get that engine to fire.
But this is terrible news for Giancarlo Fisichella. He's losing points. Fisichella is staggering out of the pits. He just manages to engage a gear. One of the all-time Grand Prix cliches is catching is one thing, passing another, and that would certainly apply if Mika Häkkinen actually caught Michael Schumacher, who's coming into the Ascari curves now for the 52nd and last time. Because if Mika Häkkinen was sitting on the gearbox of the Ferrari, there wouldn't be a repeat here, I think, of the situation we had in Belgium when he so brilliantly took the lead from the Ferrari coming up to Les Combes, and they both lapped Ricardo Zonta. Michael Schumacher is now out of the Parabolica, down the start and finish straight, over the line very shortly to start his 53rd and last lap as Mika Häkkinen follows him through. There is the leader into the chicane. Turn 1, turn 2. So Michael Schumacher, he won in Australia, he won in Brazil, Then his third victory of the year was the San Marino Grand Prix, followed by the European Grand Prix and the Canadian Grand Prix. And it really does now look as though it's going to be his 6th Grand Prix victory of the year, as Verstappen has got Wurz right behind him, 4th and 5th.
Yeah, that's actually Fisichella, who, of course, had that very long pit stop and is out of position. Maybe, I don't think Verstappen, unless his radio's gone down, will think it's, he may think it's Wurz, but it's not. Wurz is actually 7 seconds down the road. It's a recovering Fisichella, who's currently down in 11th place and a lap behind.
Michael Schumacher looks in his mirror to see whether Mika Häkkinen is there. He is there, but he's far enough back for Michael to be able to pace himself home to victory at Monza. He won in 96, he won in 98, he's going to win again in the year 2000, and there is Mika Häkkinen behind him, and now Italy can truly erupt. The Tifosi and the Ferraristas see Michael Schumacher win at Monza and Italy and close the gap between himself and Mika Häkkinen in the World Championship, finishing second there, down to 2 points. David Coulthard's World Championship hopes are over. Rubens Barrichello's are as well, of course. There was a remote chance that either of them could win the World Championship if they won the remaining races. But now it is a fight to the finish between Häkkinen and Schumacher. Kiss the ground and receive the champagne at Monza.
Another Monza triumph for Michael Schumacher, followed though by tears in the press conference.
Everybody has a limit, and that was over my limit today.
Today I'm happy to be second because you all saw what happens in the second chicane. And, you know, I don't know, I saw just yellow car in my mirrors coming towards me, and then I turned in. And I'm sure it went this close to my car. So I'm very, very happy to finish the Grand Prix and finish the second position, yes.
As the moment I hit the BAR, I just knew I was going to fly. And at that stage, I only just sat in my cockpit and just hoped that, you know, you land on safe ground. But it's so difficult to be there at that stage because you don't know where you're going to end up, really.
Back on the road. Now we go to the last 3 races and we'll obviously fight very hard.
And so Michael Schumacher's 41st career win, same as Senna. Häkkinen still hasn't won at Monza. Ralf Schumacher on the podium. Verstappen 4th, best of the season for him. First points for Wurz in 21 races. Zonta scoring for Honda in their 200th Grand Prix. Just a couple of points in it now. 3 to go. Coulthard's World Championship hopes are over. In the Constructors, McLaren's lead is cut to 4 points. Williams looks secure for 3rd, and there are no significant changes elsewhere. So then it's next stop Indianapolis, but all our thoughts tonight are with the 30-year-old Italian fire marshal Paolo Ghislimberti, who sadly has died in a Monza hospital as a result of the injuries he received in that crash. Good night.